Good afternoon. This is for our Coca-Cola video project for our BUAD class 4980. It is developed by Taylor Wood, Susie Blackburn, and Ava Blackman. In the future, how will Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Consolidated Company, handle the changes needed to continue to be the leader in the beverage industry? 1. Expand local markets. 2. Effective company communication. 3. A standardized plan for bringing on the new bottlers in our growth period at this point. These are the areas that we'd like to focus on. The strategic arena is that Coca-Cola Bottling Company is located in Charlotte, North Carolina. They carry over 250 brands, and they're the largest Coca-Cola bottler in the United States. The quality, because Coca-Cola has built such a strong image of quality, Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Consolidated, benefits from their high standards and quality and brand equity. Efficiency. They have their own, Coca-Cola Bottling Company has their own trucking firms, which aids in logistics, and they operate some of the most water efficient plants in the world, exceeding industry standards. They're innovative and creative by using the Defender innovation, and they are creative in protecting their current position. With the Recycle and Win program, customers are rewarded for recycling and recycling properly. Some of their strengths are they have a strong brand equity, which gives Coca-Cola Bottling Company a strong competitive advantage. They have a strong liquidity position. In 2016, their current ratio was 1.12 compared to 1.06 in 2015. That was primarily due to a decrease in the total liabilities. They have a strong solvency position. In 2016, the debt to equity ratio was 3.65 to the 2015 ratio of 4.61, which is an increase of 4.47. So their strategic arena SWOT analysis. They are strongly associated with a Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and they have dependencies. Their weakness is operational performance. In the last 2 years, the company's performance has weakened, and it's primarily due to inefficient cost management and the company, which affects the firm's infrastructure, and dependency on select customers. The customer has two main customers. They are Walmart and Food Lion, and they're very dependent on them. The only functions along the value chain that are affected are marketing and sales. Their strategic arena SWOT analysis. Their opportunities where they can improve or they are good are the growth in the non-alcoholic ready-to-drink beverages, the increase in the consumer spending in the United States, and the recovery of the restaurant industry. The threats to that are the rising labor costs in the U.S., strict regulation, and volatile raw material prices. The macro environment, the political, legal part, is the strict regulation from the FDA. The company significant cost to comply with these regulations, and any non-compliance causes fines and other penalties. This can be harmful to the company's image and can cause customers to use rivals instead of us. The economic environment, the volatile raw material prices, they fluctuate quite a bit. This affects the pricing strategy of the company, which can affect the margins, and it causes us not to have bargaining power with our suppliers. Another strategic concern is not enough effective communication throughout the company. And with the new growth of buying smaller bottlers and how you bring those conversion process to bring the new bottlers on and bring them into our fold. Recommendations. Take advantage of the opportunity to expand our customer base. According to the SWOT analysis, one of the weaknesses of the company is the dependence on a select group of customers. During the fiscal year 2015, the company's two largest customers, Walmart and Food Lion, represent 22 to 8% of the total revenues, respectively. Coca-Cola Bottling Company depends on these customers, and that gives them bargaining power. It makes it unlikely that they'll negotiate terms that are favorable to us. Also, the company loses either one of these customers, it would make it difficult to find new customers to sell its product to on time and would inversely affect or impact the revenues. To remedy this, it is recommended that the Coca-Cola Bottling Company take advantage and capitalize on the rising demand in the U.S. restaurant industry. According to the Restaurant Association, the revenues of the United States restaurant industry are estimated to reach $661 billion in 2016, an increase of 3.8% over 2015. All segments are expected to experience growth. It is worth noting that the restaurant industry accounts for 4% of the U.S. GDP and employs 10% of the country's workforce. The types of drinks preferred in the restaurant industry are fountain drinks. Coca-Cola Bottling Company can leverage their strong brand equity to distribute their leading brands in soft and still drink categories to acquire new customers. Also, Coca-Cola Bottling Company can also drive growth by tapping market opportunities. There is a growth demand for non-alcoholic ready-to-drink beverages worldwide. This is strongly attributed to the improvement in social economic conditions. According to the trends analysis from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, indicates that non-alcoholic ready-to-drink beverages are expected to exceed 1,000 billion in 2020. Given the rise to consumer disposable income and growing personal income, the personal consumption will contribute to an increase in customer spending. According to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis in 2016, personal income in the U.S. increased by $455 billion, 3.52% increase, and disposable income increased by $381 billion, a 3.3% increase compared to 2015. These increases in income and spending could only benefit the Coca-Cola Bottling Company because they'll spend more money on our products. This recommendation is meant to both increase revenue and address the weaknesses revealed in the SWOT analysis. Now, acquisition teams is because at this point you're buying smaller bottlers and you're trying to bring them on and trying to absorb people and figure out where people need to be. The thought is, or the idea is, that you need acquisition teams. These teams will consist of 5 people, 2 from manufacturing, 1 from human resources or accounting, a marketing person, and a project leader. After the new bottler has been acquired, this team would go in and spend 2 months evaluating people, evaluating the actual physical structure, trying to standardize reports, implementing any changes in operations. And at that point, then they will leave and go on to another one if there's one available. These teams would have to give a 2-year commitment, or until the slowing of acquisitions happens, they should at least give a 2-year notice. The communication will be improved because these people are actually in the plants working directly with the people that work there. It will show the new employees a positive presence at each site, and it will show them that change is good for them, because if they were bought, they probably weren't in very strong position in the first place. They'll ensure that company standards are maintained. They will have a solid plan to bring all these bottlers on and standardize them. And after about a year or two, then you can move people in and out of this, or move them back into the positions that they used to have, or they could go on to other products or problems or projects that may arise. Some of the negatives would be these teams would be on the road a lot. In the hotels, and the cost of spending and eating out and all of that would all have an impact. But going in for a day or two isn't going to fix a lot of the problems that need to happen. And you need to have people come back and have a follow-up plan of, okay, we're going to go back to this and revisit this company and make sure that they're doing what they say they're supposed to be doing and living up to the standards that we have set. And because I have these teams full of people who are very strong and knowledgeable in their own department outright, it will have a hard time backfilling those people. But once you get to a point where you have those people backfilled, then it opens up lots of opportunities for other people. So these are our recommendations for the future of the Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated.